In August of 2021, I had my first red month as a trader. And yes, it was a painful experience, but it was also one of the most important learning experiences of my career. It all came down to one simple mistake, a mistake that I see other traders making. In this video, I'm going to share the full story of that losing month and the psychological trap that I fell into so you don't have to make that same costly mistake. And these months are so difficult and so challenging mentally. And I just feel like it's so important to share the losses, the wins, and everything that has to do with trading because you can see all the results on the P&Ls and everybody's green streaks, but the losing months are the ones that will teach you the most. And I know that because it taught me the most. I remember August 2021 like it was yesterday, but if you ask me about all of the winning months that I had before that, maybe I'm not going to remember it in every detail, but I do remember this month because the losing months and the losing trades are the ones that will shape you. And if you don't fix those little mistakes that you have along the journey, it's going to cost you $20,000 or maybe even more, just like it did to me. So fixing those little cracks that you have in your system are so important for your overall trading journey. And like I mentioned in the previous video, there is not just the good side. There's also the difficult side where you even doubt yourself or you go on this emotional bender and you don't know how to fix it. So I am here sharing my mistakes so that you don't have to make them, or that at least you can remember what I say in this video. And remember, if you're ever going through a moment in your life where you just remember any of the stories that I shared and you think, I'm not going to make the same mistake as her, then please do. Because I am telling you now that every trader has gone through this. And after all, wins are just wins. And yes, they build your track record. And after all, you do need consistent gains to be a profitable trader. But the losses and sharing that transparency that not a lot of people share, because everybody just wants to see the wins. But the losses are what teaching most. The losses are the ones that will build your process because from those losses, you're going to make rules for your system. And the rules are, after all, the ones that will keep you alive in this game. It's not going to be just another win because what happens if you don't have rules in place? Well, that win is going to get wiped out real quick by a bigger loss. Or if you have 10 consistent days, but you don't have rules in place, you'll wipe all of them in one trade. And that is what I don't want you guys to make that mistake. And that's why I love to share losses and I love to be transparent and share everything that I've gone through because everything is important, not just what I trade in my patterns. No, what I lose on and how I lost it and why I lost it is so important for your learning curve. In August of 2021, I had just come from one of the hottest markets throughout the whole year. So it's almost as if all of those wins had built that invincibility in me. And I was just so focused in my process. I'm like, there is nothing that could possibly go wrong, right? But as you can see, there is. So here is my trading for August of 2021. As you can see, the month started messy, and it's almost as if a part of me didn't want to believe it. And I just thought to myself, I have to fix it somehow. Later in that month, we were going to go on a trip. And there is one thing with traders going on trips, trading and traveling is so challenging mentally. And I feel like I've heard this from so many other traders as well. And now you're hearing it from myself. I had that trader mentality where I just had to be green on the month in order to actually enjoy my vacation. First of all, that's the first mistake I was making. I was already forcing that month to be good because I wanted to just be okay during the trip. Well, I just had a record-breaking year. Why couldn't I just not force myself to have a green month? So that was problem number one. And I really wanted to enjoy this trip, but I started out the week messy. The first week, I was up 30,000, down 30,000, and then in between, I was just taking little trades, but the biggest one was my $30,000 loss. And that is when it all kind of started going south for me because mentally I was already not there and I was already trying to fix it. And what can I do so that I can go on the trip and I can just have a good time? Well, instead of taking that time off and just realizing my process is not serving me right now and I just need some time off, I kept trying to trade. And that was when I made the first real mistake of that whole year. The first real mistake of that whole year was revenge trading. And for those of you that know revenge trading, we've all met her at least one time in our life. It is not fun. We are human. And behind those human emotions, we all have ego and we all want to be right. It's not even that we're just trying to do that. No, it's human nature. Like it is clinically tested that we want to be right. We never want to be put out of our comfort zone, and we never want to feel like we're wrong or feel like we're doing something that's completely out of, and we have feelings of frustration and anger and that feeling of trying to make it back, and that is all just in our nature. So we're here trying to battle our emotions. We're going against what we know internally. We build a process, and if that's wrong, we have to accept it, we have to continue, and we have to move on. But we're here trying to deal with our emotions and everything that's going on inside of us. So how difficult is it for trading to tell you you're wrong? Accept that you're wrong. Our body's like, I'm not wrong. What can I do? And that's my mistake. We're always just trying to make those losses back instead of thinking, I just need to take a break. And that's why you create these rules, because revenge trading happens to everyone. It's human nature for us to want to make it back. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to lose. We want to think to ourselves, I just built this whole process for months. What do you mean that I'm wrong? Like, of course not, because I have the track record of almost 8 months before this. So what is the difference this week? And that's where we have to start listening to ourselves and remembering what it's like to start the process all over again. It's almost as if sometimes you have to start the process all over again, and nobody wants to start the process. But going back to the basics helps so much, and revenge trading is so dangerous. When you let emotions overtake your trade, it is so unbelievably dangerous, and it can get so reckless, which is why I am telling you right now that before you make this mistake, think of this video and just remember Mari telling you, I cannot revenge trade, because every time that I revenge trade, I am putting myself in a position to lose thousands of dollars. And losing isn't fun. And trading is literally losing. Like, just think about it. There are so many other professions out there. You could be a doctor, you could be a dentist, and say you have a bad outcome one day, or you have a bad surgery one day. You're still getting that paycheck at the end of the month. Us traders, we show up to the market emotional, then we start revenge trading, and guess what the market's gonna do? It's gonna take money away from you. So this is the only job where it can take money away from you at the end of the day. And that is why we need to learn to control our emotions. And revenge trading, you need to know how dangerous it is. So now that I've covered what revenge trading is, I want to share what I revenge traded in Positano, Italy in 2021. Like, somebody take me back to that beautiful Positano and tell me, you do not have to trade. And somebody tell me, you do not have to trade max size. It was August 11th. 2021. So we could see that MRNA had gone up for months. It had that, like, in August 9th, they had that speed up. So I got interested because everybody was watching it, and that speed up was very strong. During that time, I was not shorting any stock at all. I didn't even have shorty brokerages because I made 1.6 million longing stocks. That's it. So I wasn't interested in the short side, but I was interested to see that first green day bounce. August 11th, it was just so unbelievably weak all morning. And I was like, wow, is this going to literally bounce before the first green day tomorrow? So instead, I just started buying it around like the 405 level. And one of the biggest mistakes that I did during that day was start buying a gradual decline, because it was not a morning panic dip buy. It was a gradual decline on a stock that had been up for months. So I should have naturally just left it alone. But instead, I just thought, this is an insane move. It came all the way from 500 all the way to like almost 400. That's already 100 points. So I wanted to look for that bounce trade. And it was midday too. So why is it so dangerous to buy a gradual decline on a random Wednesday? It doesn't give the stock enough time to bounce. And when it's also a confirmed first red day, that means it could literally keep going down and down and down, because it's not going green anytime soon. It has already confirmed that it's heavy. And once I just kept adding and adding, I realized it was like 4 p.m. and I had to cut, because I can't swing huge size on a stock that gave zero bounce at all. So I had to stop out for a $40,000 loss, because I couldn't take an initial loss of maybe like 1,000 or two. No, instead, I had to keep trying it until I maybe got it right. And the only thing I have for this trade is huge lessons, because I don't want you guys to make that same mistake. Buying a stock on a confirmed first shred day that has been up for months and literally has to go down eventually with a gradual decline throughout the whole morning. And with zero intentions of bouncing, and I just kept adding and cutting and getting back in, that then I realized it's 4 p.m. I have to cut. I literally have to get up this never bounce. And it was so gradual throughout the whole day. What was I doing? I realized I had to cut for the $40,000 loss because everything happened so like slow but so quick at the same time that it was 4 p.m. and I had to get out. Trying to bounce a stock midday. It doesn't have enough time to bounce. And once it's confirmed throughout the whole morning, it is a confirmed red day. Second, not everything has to bounce. I am thinking to myself, well, this has to bounce because it's down so much. It can go lower. Everything can always go lower than your entry. And just thinking, well, if it goes down so much, then eventually it has to go up. Not really if you don't have proper risk management on it. Just because something has to bounce and you don't have proper risk, proper entry, proper planning, and proper sizing, it does not mean that it has to bounce. Third thing, I was on a trip and I clearly had a messy start of the month, so I needed to understand that. I had been adding and cutting and adding that everything happened so quick but like so slow at the same time because I was just like in a corner and I was like, oh my god, like, can please just bounce. You should never be praying to a stock. And I was praying. I know I'm not the only one who does this either because I've seen other traders pray to a stock. But whenever you find yourself, please just bounce or please just come down. I think that should literally tell you get out of the stock. The moment you start praying is the moment everything is out the window. Your process, everything that you've built throughout that whole year, which happened to me, I was like, please should bounce out the window because I was not thinking clearly and I was just thinking emotional. I was like in a corner and then it was 4 p.m. And 4 p.m. pretty much told me like, you need to cut because I can't swing huge size on a stock that gave me zero reason to be bouncing. I had zero reason to be in it in the first place because it was a confirmed red day on a stock that had been up for months. And it was not a morning panic dip buy. It was not a first green day. It was a gradual decline and it was not holding any level. And I was also in post time literally. I did not have to trading the stock with such big size. So I ended up having to cut for a $40,000 loss. And that was so heartbreaking because all I had to do was remember the strategies that got me to where I got and not try something completely out of my comfort zone. This wasn't even an OTC. It was a real stock and I was over here trying to outsmart the stock. But it told me millions of times, it told me, I'm not going to bounce today. I'm not going to bounce today. It wasn't a violent panic. It had been down in like 2 days, like 100 points, but that's not the point. The point is, it was a confirmed first shred day. It had been going up for months. It was not any strategy that I was comfortable with. It was really big size while I was traveling. It happened during one that I started the week and the month just a messy and I was just forcing myself to have a good month and it just wasn't happening for me. Thinking that everything has to bounce, but not everything has to bounce. I was just spoiled with a great market, but I needed to put rules in place. It could have been a much smaller loss if I had realized earlier that I was trading with emotions and ego versus actually trading the process that I had learned throughout months. So that is why it's so important to have rules in place because we want to avoid these big losses as much as we can. It doesn't matter how much money we make if one loss can outrace everything. We need rules and also understanding ourselves and knowing when we're emotional. That's why I always journal my emotions because that is where most of the mistakes come from when we stop trading from the process and we start trading from our mind, because our mind is so powerful and it can control everything we're doing. It can literally ruin whatever or it can fix anything. And in trading, we want the least amount of emotions as possible because the emotions are always going to be the ones that get us in the end. So I created a rule for myself and that was never ever did buy a NASDAQ stock on a first or second red day. And since that rule happened, I have seen countless of red days that have been bounceless completely. And everybody's like, no, this has to bounce, this has to bounce. No, it doesn't. Because that is why I created that rule. And I see it time and time again where these stocks are down so much and you're like, oh my god, like this has to bounce at some point. Well, give it some days and try the first green day, but on first and second red day they can be so strong and powerful and so bounces that the same way they went up is the same way that they're going to go down. They can go down huge with zero bounce at all. They could literally go down zero. There was a stock the other day WNW, and it went from like $2 to $13, and it came back down from 13 all the way to $2. So not everything has to bounce, and I guess this was different because it was, and having this rule in place has helped me tremendously. NMAX last year was one of the examples, went from like 14 to 265, and then all of the days after that red. Not everything has to bounce. Trading can be so dangerous, but the rules that you set for yourself will either help you advance in a consistent way where you don't wipe out any progress that you've done or any significant progress that you've done. So, and they can help you in the long run so much. I step away whenever I have a max sets. I step away every time that I have a set, every time that I hit my max stop loss for the day, and I just have to walk away. Another thing that I do, daily journaling and writing down your emotions, writing down your trades, why you got in, why you're out, the percentages, everything. Write down, and daily journaling. I think that is so important just to find out how your emotions actually play in every trade that you take, because all trades that we take, we have an emotion going in. We have a different emotion facing those trades. So writing those down and daily journaling, every single one of those are so important for your overall trading career. And of course, setting a max stop loss. And what I want you guys to take from this video is that trading can be dangerous, and revenge trading can wipe out so many days, weeks, or months of your hard work. So do not let it dictate how you trade. Don't let your emotions dictate how you trade, because you can control them with the rules in place. I have certain rules that I follow, and those include setting a max stop loss. And that is so important because a max stop loss is just going to automatically get you out of the stock. And you just tell your broker, I want a max stop loss of $500 or $1,000 or whatever your max risk is, and it'll get you out. So you don't have to do it yourself, because once emotion takes over, sometimes you can't even do it. Another thing, daily journaling. I journal every single thing that I do throughout the trading day, and that'll help you understand yourself and how you react to certain entries, certain exits, and writing down all of these trades. In daily journaling, I think this one is so important because it helps you understand yourself. Because there are so many patterns out there, so many strategies that you can learn, but not a lot of videos teach you how to learn yourself, and only you can do that. So journaling every single emotion that you feel, every single trade that you take, how much you made, why you took it, how you were feeling throughout the trade. And the more that you journal, the more then you can always go back to it and just find the mistakes and all of the cracks and fix it. And whatever you're doing right, you can just improve them more and more. And a third one, walking away. Walking away when your max stop loss hits. And that is crucial. Again, taking away from those emotions that you're feeling and just making it systematic. The more systematic it is, the less emotions that you're feeling, because it's almost as if you had no other choice. Every trader has to learn to manage their emotions. If you've ever struggled with taking emotional losses for revenge trading, let me know in the comments what has helped you. Your story might help someone else. And if you want more content on trading psychology, make sure to subscribe.